Golly, 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 golly. Pull up a chair. Gather round. You're about to see some shit go down. Yes, you are. So, everybody should have found this video by now after I instructed you to search nanowires. Especially you guys at the DoD. I'm surprised you haven't been briefed on this already. Probably you should have known about it at least by yesterday or last night. Because if I'm finding out about it, my mom was talking about the birds. Yeah, okay. I'm doing a live. I'm doing a video here. Anyway, the bird feeders, guys. Anyway, the terrorist nanowire conspiracy, Chinese conspiracy, CCP. The CCP that's what I think I'll label this video. The CCP's terrorist nanowire, new horizon for polarization, whatever this video is about anyway. This is great. This is great. You guys are going to love this shit. The terrorist nanowires, right? Okay, you'll see. You'll see what I mean. And then I will remind you guys of my little warning about this certain type of frequency research that was being done when I was telling you guys about my frequency research in prior videos. I believe it's still up on this channel. It was fairly new stuff. It's not on my deleted channels or in my archives on Odyssey or Twitch or whatever. DLive doesn't keep records, but Twitch, Odyssey, and BitChute is where you'll find all my old stuff. Now, I believe I've got the resonant frequency of the graphene oxide video up, and that'll basically fill you in if you followed my live stream from this morning on how these nanoparticles and nanowires and whatever they self-replicate into, or whatever they're doing, are able to be accessed, programmed, and manipulated with resonant microwave frequency. And now a terrorist frequency for the terrorist nanowire application to our United States military personnel. Congratulations, guys. You just fucked us. You fucked us hard. Our government just fucking signed our death warrant, man. If we weren't fucked already, we are really fucked now that all the military got a newfangled, and I went over the name for it. I'm not going to repeat it anymore. A newfangled roll-up-your-sleever that they thought they had developed. In reality, it had already been R&D'd, tested, and pre-planned. This whole thing, from the very beginning of it, was this is CCP Russian collusion. I guarantee it. I don't know if Russia's on the ground floor of development, but they probably sure did shake hands, and that's exactly why they haven't fucking moved from where they're at in Ukraine right now. I'll tell you that right fucking now. They're waiting for something, and they're waiting for the rest of the military to take the thing in the arm. Okay? And get it established, nice and grown, flourishing in your body. That takes a little time to to spread and replicate it and establish itself. This black goo like nanowire terrorist frequency. Here we go, fuckers. Enjoy it while it lasts. Grab some popcorn, pull up a chair, because this is gonna go up your derriere. You fucking ignorant motherfucking. Who do we got running the fucking military anyway? Intelligence. Who the fuck? I want to have a talk. I think I'm going to call them up. The nice lady from the DOD intelligence office gave me some colonel's number. I didn't catch his name on his recording. Colonel, you need to fix your recording so we can at least find out what your name is, because I got your number here. I call you again if I want to. I'm sure by now y'all have found my channel here. And my other shit that I've got all over the place on other platforms and whatnot. Y'all are gonna fucking, y'all are in for a wake-up call. And so is the rest of the country that doesn't have access to the files that you guys do. 50 years ahead of fucking modern technological releases and stuff like that. Y'all ought to know better. Are you guys really gonna sit back and let fucking China depopulate the entire world and let them fuckers take over? Rice-eating motherfuckers. Y'all some fucking pretty sore motherfuckers, dude. I once had faith in humanity. You know, all of humanity. Now I'm just like you know what I'm gonna do is when I get around to it, is pop the Odin's Gate one last time and just fucking crisscross applesauce, motherfuckers. Because when it opened last time, the biggest tornado in motherfucking history come out the motherfucker. Guess what'll happen if I really prop the fucker open? Guess. Just fucking take a fucking wild fucking guess, motherfuckers. Because my faith in y'all is gone. It's gone. It's zero. It's negative zero. It's 0.618, motherfuckers. Golden ratio times Planck, bitch.
Our next speaker is Dr. Kun Peng from University of Oxford. We'll be talking about nanowire's promise, new horizon for polarization sensitive.
We're gonna speed this up so you can slow it down if you want to, but I'm kind of fucking in a hurry today. I don't know about you guys.
Thank you so much. I'm very honored to be here to join this community. My name is Kun Peng. I'm a postdoctor.
Come home.
I think I couldn't change to my slide. Okay, right now. Okay.
Come home with her.
My name is Kun Peng, and I'm from the Department of Physics. I'm a postdoctor working in Professor Michael Johnston's Oxford Photonics Group.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and today I would like to introduce a new type of terahertz detector, which is made of nanowire networks. And we believe this new type terahertz detector gives new light to terahertz time domain spectroscopy.
Teller time domain.
Firstly, I will start some background introductions and what is terahertz and what is terahertz spectroscopy.
Oh, terror! So oh no, terror spectrum.
Here,
terahertz or terror?
Radiations which occupy a region between microwave and infrared light on the electromagnetic spectrum with frequencies spanning from 100 gigahertz to 30 terahertz. And terahertz spectroscopy is a study
100
on how
gigahertz
the
to 30
radiations
terahertz,
interact
and you
with
guys
atoms.
thought
So
fucking
the terahertz
5G was
spectroscopy has been widely
fucking
used in
bad.
our daily life because the terahertz spectrum is very
The
important.
terahertz
For
spectrum.
example, in chemistry, the terahertz spectroscopy can be used for molecular analysis, and in physics, the terahertz spectroscopy can be
The
used
terahertz
for plasma
spectrum.
diagnostics. And in industry, the terahertz spectroscopy can be used for the semiconductor device failure analysis. And most importantly, the terahertz photon is non-ionizing, so the terahertz spectroscopy is particularly favored in biomedical science, for example, for the cancer diagnostics or for the airport or the medical screen.
Is she speaking here? No, we can't see her.
And today, the most familiar terahertz spectroscopic technique is named terahertz time domain spectroscopy, as shown here. And in this technique, the properties of materials are probed with short pulses of terahertz radiation.
Terahertz radiation.
Terahertz time domain
You get this, guys?
As you can see, it
Come
is
on,
a pump probe
she's basically telling us
based on a femtosecond laser, and the
that
laser
it's
beam
terahertz.
will be split into two optical beam paths, one passing through a delay stage, which is guided to the emitter to produce a single cycle terahertz pulse. And the other optical beam is guided to the detector to switch it on. So in the measurement, the sample of interest will be placed in the terahertz beam path, and the transmitted terahertz pulse will be received
terahertz pulse
and detected, providing both amplitude and phase information of the terahertz pulse. And by comparing the transmitted terahertz signals with and without the presence of the sample, we can extract out many important properties for the sample. For example, its complex refractive index. Or furthermore, we can do some modeling things to extract out the sample's electrical conductivity properties. And if you put this sample on a 2D translation stage, and you can do the 2D mapping of the sample to examine the homogeneity and uniformity of the sample in composition. Okay, next slide. Okay, today the most terahertz time domain spectroscopy systems are based on the generation of a single cycle linearly polarized terahertz pulse, and with a detection scheme that can only measure one component of the terahertz electric field vector, but the terahertz pulse has polarization. And what if the polarization state of the terahertz pulse changed after transmitting through the sample? So if we still stuck with the conventional detection scheme, and it is possible to figure out the sample's effect on the transmitted terahertz pulse, which could lead to the wrong understanding of the sample's property. So it's necessary to develop a detection scheme which allows to measure two orthogonal components of the terahertz electrical field vector to give a full description of the transmitted terahertz pulse, including its amplitude, phase, as well as polarization state information. Before I go to my own work, I will give a kind of the introduction on why we need a polarization of terahertz time domain spectroscopy system. And firstly, this polarization result system allows a complete understanding of the dielectric properties of the materials, including their anisotropic dielectric properties, such as the birefringence or optical activities. And sometimes the anisotropic properties of materials are very sensitive to their surrounding environment, for example, the strain surrounding the sample. So by analyze the anisotropic properties of the material, we can even do the environment analysis. And also, when the terahertz transmits through a sample,
the terahertz transmits through a sample,
of the terahertz signal may also change, which will decrease the spatial resolution in terahertz imaging.
She loves that word.
The polarization correction is highly desired in terahertz imaging technique. And furthermore, the polarization result terahertz technique can lead to more advanced terahertz technology, for example, the terahertz Hall effect measurement, the terahertz Faraday rotation spectroscopy, and terahertz ellipsometry, and terahertz vibrational circular dichroism, and terahertz polarization communication.
The terahertz polar.
Okay,
shit.
If polarization result terahertz system is such powerful, why it hasn't been widely accessible yet? The reason is there is still a lack of reliable and fast method to measure the polarization state of the terahertz pulse in the TDS system.
Terahertz house. See, I told you guys.
That have been developed for such polarization sensing technique. And one is to use a terahertz polarization beam splitter. And because the terahertz polarization beam splitter is still under development, so this method has a very limited usage at this moment. And the second method is to use a set of wide-grid polarizer like this. And the as the wire-grid polarizer, terahertz polarizers are already commercially available. So this technique is the most commonly used technique in current terahertz setup. And but this wire-grid polarizer has a limited bandwidth, less than 3 terahertz, and they are expensive and fragile. And the third method is to rotate the emitter of the detector of the sample by 90 degrees to measure out the two orthogonal components of the terahertz electrical field vector separately. But both the second and third method will require double data acquisition time because you are measuring signals separately, and which is not practical for terahertz imaging or mapping application. Next slide. Okay, the third method is the most promising one, to use a broadband polarization sensitive terahertz detector. And multi-contact photoconductive antenna has been developed for this usage, as shown here. And this kind of detector is very compact and speedy and allows to simultaneously measure the terahertz electrical vector along multiple directions, and which is a very useful or promising way to do the polarization measurement in the terahertz system. But such kind of detector are fabricated on the bulk semiconductor substrate, which means
you see they're planning to do terrorism with this.
In the measurement, when we switch the detector on, we need to excite optical laser beam at the center of the detection channel.
No, but shit, I'm not shitting you guys.
And this excitation must be very accurate. I mean, the beam alignment must be very precise, as if you excited the sample a little misaligned like this, it is the region between
the excite my sample.
Electrode will become photoconductive, which will cause the cross.
She's getting my sample excited,
channel, which may complex the extraction of your terahertz polarization information in the measured signal. Okay, so is there a method that allows us to just confine the photosensitive region just while have each detection channel have a high selectivity to the incident terahertz polarization direction? The answer is yes. We can use the NANOWIRE to replace the bulk semiconductor to do the measurement. As in our previous research, we have observed that the semiconductor NANOWIRE have strong anisotropic absorption to the terahertz radiations after being photoexcited. So they are perfect candidate to do it. So here's a follow-up question. Can nanowire measure the terahertz pulse? Because terahertz wavelength is around 100 micrometer. And the nanowire, okay, it's just, normally it's a typical nanowire is kind of the 100 nanometer in diameter and a few micrometers in length. So the answer is also yes. To incorporate the antenna that
oh shit.
Interested in, you can look into this
paper. Oh well.
at the right bottom. And okay.
Missed the point there. You guys have to go back and watch this. I'm sorry.
And to achieve this device architecture, we need to address two challenges. One is how to precisely position the nanowire in the detection channel with the wanted orientation. The other challenge is how to electrically isolate these two orthogonal detection channels. And the first challenge can be addressed by applying the nanoscale transfer printing technique, which has been developed in our collaborators group, Professor Antonio's group at the University of Strathclyde. And in their technique, they are able to stamp the single nanowire to a target location on a target substrate, and with the designed orientation and without damage the nanowire at all. It's very useful. And then we need to address the second challenge is how to isolate this two detection channel. And as you can see on the right here, we create a three-dimensional device structure, which makes the first detection channel is just on the substrate, and the second detection channel, the orthogonal one, is just suspended from the substrate. And we kind of physically isolated these two detection channels, but still incorporated them into one piece device. And the next slide. Okay, here's then this nanowire. Let me talk about some details of this detector. As you can see, the numbers of nanowires in each detection channel can be manipulated. And here I choose two. I just want to improve the signal size in my detection channel. And the total dimension of my nanowire detector is around 2 millimeter by 2 millimeter, and the gap size is around 4 micrometer here. And then this nanowire detector was incorporated into a standard terahertz time domain spectroscopy system, as shown here. And this system is a little different because we need to check out the polarization response of our nanowire detector. So in this system, the polarization direction of the terahertz source can be changed by rotating the emitter.
Looks like a meat grinder from here.
as you can see on the left side here. And we have both the optical pulse and the terahertz pulse focused at the detector center where the nanowire is located at the same time. And the optical pulse will generate the electron pairs in the semiconductor nanowire. And if simultaneously a terahertz electric field passes through this gap region, and this terahertz field will induce a bias between the contact trots, and which will induce a current through this closed external circuit. And obviously, the intensity of the measured terahertz-induced current is proportional to the strength of the electrical field, this detector field. And by change the time delay between the terahertz pulse and the optical pulse, we can map out the temporal profile of the pulse terahertz electrical field. Yeah. And this is the performance of our nanowire detector. The figure here on the first column is the raw terahertz-induced current data measured from our nanowire terahertz detector.
Going to sleep, guys. Damn.
When the incident terahertz polarization is parallel with the horizontal detector channel, there's only horizontal channel response to the terahertz signal. And when the incident terahertz polarization is vertical, and only the vertical channel responding to it. And when the incident terahertz polarization is at around 45 degrees, as you can see, both of the detection channel produce equal response to the incident terahertz signal. And the second column here is recovered temporal profile of the post-terahertz electrical field from the data in the column 1. And by performing the Fourier transform to the second column data, we can extract out the spectral response of our nanowire detector. Okay. The detector, as you can see, for both of the channel, we got the broadband response and up to 2 terahertz. And we all noticed that the electro geometry will influence the detector's selectivity to the incident terahertz polarization. So we just do the FDTD simulation to check the antenna's influence. And you can see the double bow tie antenna structure is a perfect linear response to the terahertz polarization change. And yeah. And that's some analysis on the signal. And this figure on the top here shows the relationship of the terahertz response to the change of the incident terahertz polarization for the 2 orthogonal detection channels. And both of the channel responds linearly to the incident terahertz polarization and perfectly following the sine and cosine functions, which is a strong evidence to show that the 2 orthogonal detection channels are independent to each other. And the bottom figures here just a comparison. We just fabricate a bulk double bow tie antenna and use the same system to characterize it. As you can see here, it's impossible to distinguish the 2 orthogonal channels. And for each detection channel, the measured signal is quite sensitive to whether or not the channel is measured simultaneously or independently. Yeah. And yeah, there's some details I will not go through. And then we need to demonstrate how powerful this system could be after equipment by our cross nanowire detector. And we just use a system to measure 2 typical materials. The first one is a birefringent material. It's an X-cut quartz. And with our 2-channel detector, we can directly measure out the ordinary ray and the extraordinary ray in the system and straightforward to extract out the birefringence of this material, or can identify a kind of birefringent material easily, and with the values consistent with the literature values. And then we use this detector system to measure terahertz metal material. This metal material is designed to function as a cross-polarization converter, which can rotate the horizontal polarized terahertz signal into vertical polarized. As you can see, it worked, and not perfectly, but it worked. And the right figures show you that the simulation results are consistent with our experimental result. And it's worth mentioning that there's another group also did similar work, but with a well-graded polarizer for the technique things. And for us, we just need 1 single shot measurement and with very high polarization accuracy. Here's a summary. Okay, I show you a cross nanowire detector which can fast and measure the full polarization state of terahertz pulse in terahertz TDS system. And this detector can straightforward replace the existing photoconductive receivers in the commercial terahertz TDS system, and without change the optical layout, while providing additional polarization information without increase the data acquisition time. And talk about the future of our nanowire detector. Firstly, of course, we want to use this detector to upgrade the current terahertz system, and which can use for miniaturize the system or just provide additional polarization information in the system. And the other use for this detector is we can just make the array detector for the high-speed multi-pixel terahertz imaging application. And also, this detector has been developed for the near-field terahertz imaging applications. And the last thing is something I want to talk with you guys because this detector can be used to build up the on-chip terahertz spectrometer, which can be in combination with microfluidic devices for the single cell study. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kunpeng.
Yeah.
So we have time for one question. Any question from the audience or from the other side in China? Any question?
We do. I have a question to Kunpeng. You use nanowires, multiple nanowires, across nanowires, parallel nanowires. Why does it have to go to nanos? Or can it be like?
That's a good question.
Because you use in parallel, because of the signal, or whatever reason. Yeah. The second question, probably your final slide you compared with you measured the polarization generated by metal materials, metal surface. Do you have any comparison between your device polarization capability and the metal materials, metal surface made terahertz polarized device? Do you make such comparison between these two types?
Yeah. Okay. First question.
Okay, carry on.
The first question is about the nanowire only choice for us. Answer is if you just want to shrink down the device, not necessarily the nanowire. But if you want to keep the polarization resolved function, it's better to use one-dimensional material. That's pretty sure. But I agree with you. So recently we are working on the nanomembrane-based terahertz detector with different antenna structure to enhance the detection response to the signal. Yeah, as you can see, if it's just for the lab-based use, it's not necessary to make this cross structure. Yeah, it's just depend on your purpose of this research. And the second question about the comparison, I think on all the examples I provided here, actually they have some reference paper. And the terahertz material design here is not our original design. It's just designed by some others' work. So my comparison to them is, I think if you look at the original data in the other paper, I think their polarization resolution is really bad. And based on what they said in the paper, and they measured the signal for with at least 4 well-graded polarizers in the system to keep the polarization sensitivity good enough. And in our setup, as you can see, we didn't change the optical layout at all, and just with the single nanowire detector. And the nanowire detector actually only responds to the current level at the level of a picoamp, which is quite low, but you can see my result is not bad. And yeah, the details you can look at my PowerPoint and check out the reference paper. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kunpeng. So
Yeah, just tell the Chinese everything they wanted to know out there. 11 days ago, guys. 11 days ago. I want to remind y'all that most of our technology involving frequency and electrical current, the power supply, okay, when you change the polarization of the electrical current going into something, what does it usually do? It reverses and like turns the fan blades the other direction, and now instead of the hot air, the hair dryer blowing out, it's sucking in, right? So think of it the same way as these guys are doing these experiments here. They're making nanowire receivers, but that in itself, that nanowire can transmit too. And so that is the basic panopticon that Monograph talks about, this electronic panopticon. I don't think Monograph fully realizes, what is truly going on a scale that he says he thinks he knows, but it's a lot more complicated and bigger than any of us. And yeah, there's my video. There's my short from earlier. It pulled up on the nanowire search that I did. I was like, I'll take my own advice and search a nanowire. And boy, I found a channel had a bunch of videos. And wasn't that she was just a cute little Oriental gal there at Princeton or wherever the hell she was at, college. Shia commented, we are going to have us a little outro music here. I know you guys missed the live stream. There we go. What do you know? They are, you know, these guys are so synchronicity to me. And like Niven said, he syncs on me, and all these people we're just the synchronicity thing is ridiculous, man. Look at this vital fluid, and we were talking about, you know, the black goo and the electric frequency in the magnetic fluid and resonant frequencies. Oh, this is perfect right here. Perfect. Enjoy, motherfuckers. I'll see you later tonight, maybe, or tomorrow. Merry Christmas if I don't see you. Merry fucking Christmas, motherfuckers. And it goes along with Niven's sperm thing. How do you like that? The Niven song too. Niven, it goes along with your testicular ejaculate theory on the elephant portals. Good God. Thank God for aimed ahead. Oh my. Vital fluid. 50% off for a limited time when you use the promo code SPOOGE. That's SPOOGE. Get yours today at Walmart, Costco, and Walgreens. Don't forget your Kroger's. God, good. The vital fluid at Kroger's is something. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers.